Welcome to Tuesday night, everybody. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Meringolo. Thank God it's Tuesday. He's Kevin Ricca.
Oh, and he has risen. I walk in here 25 minutes ago. Guy's dead asleep on the couch. Full hands down the front of those dungarees. And I just can't believe we've made it this far in this short amount of time. Welcome back, Ken.
By dungarees, he means a bag of Cheetos. Well, we are. Cheers to you, sir. Cheers, EO, Ken Harris, J-Dubs, Keegan Tier in the house, Red. T, we're missing T tonight. T will be back. He is still dealing with the legal fallout of French baguette scenario. Hopefully, we'll see him on the board. We gotta get him. Oh,
I thought it was T.
That could have been Keegan. Could have been Keegan in the checker outer. His old job.
He did great at it.
He was a natural. What I don't see is.
There I am.
There you are.
It is a little muffled, isn't it?
Muffled some sound? Is that what someone's saying?
No, it sounded good there.
Okay.
I think
Excellent.
Greg was just getting the first muff off of the night, you know.
Let's see here. I'm working to generate some. Is it a different icon? It's so weird. Anyone have a Mac that they just updated their thing and the old Safari isn't showing up? We'll get back to that. Not a ton of news. I mean, listen, it's mid-April. It's tax day. Happy tax day, everybody. Greg, what's going on? We see you. The NFL we're out of meetings. They're not meeting publicly any longer. There's still some fallout, I guess, but nothing for us. We're super quiet. We're like the mice in a church franchise all of a sudden.
It is. I'm getting a little nervous and excited. It is quiet. I mean, they're out there doing their due diligence, but, you know, there is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing. I love it.
The Commanders, I saw them for the first time in one of those morning things like CBS and ESPN and all the different sports legs of digital platforms, and they're clickbaiters, the 3 guys to watch, the 5 moves this team should make, the 5 teams this guy should go to, blah blah blah. and it's actually pretty cool that you see a headline like that. And I know we were in 87% of those over the last 15 years. We were just always in the mix for some kind of, because we were eyeballs, we were desperate for just anything. And now we're almost in none of them, which is awesome. And it's noticeable. Like wake up on a morning and go to CBS, and it's like these are the 5 teams this guy should go to. We were always one of the teams this guy should go to, and now for the first time I saw that someone actually spend some time on us. A paragraph. It was one of those. It was like 5 teams who need to rely on need in the first round of the draft, and we were one of them. Of course, it was pass rushing. But that was the first time I'd seen even a picture of a commander. I mean, because we were in the article also, and there was a Clelin Ferrell picture for it. I know this stuff sounds like trivial and crazy and stupid, but like if we all talk and ingest sports all day long, we've been doing it our entire lives. We've been doing it in a certain way for the Redskins since 1996 that was unhealthy, and it was unhealthy.
We learned a lot about ourselves.
We did,
you know?
And now it's different, like you said. Now we're overcoming. It is weird. It's like withdrawal from the bad stuff for a while, and now it's like, oh wait, this is nice. So no real news.
Right. Why do you think Derek gravitates towards us? This was a Giants fan who lost Saquon Barkley and watched him win the Super Bowl 1 year later. We have open arms to guys like that. You know what I mean? Contrite guys that are like, I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm a true fan. I love my team. And I just got completely kicked right where it counts and everything shattered. So pick up the pieces, get back after it. That's what the sport's all about. This is the fun part. We dealt with all that. We dealt with that in this basement. This group right here, group therapy. We've dealt with it. Now we're on a different side of the coin.
And that my T-shirt and the creamy biceps are back tonight. This is a shrunk shirt. You always can tell this is a present from Joe. And when you get your brother or your buddy a T-shirt, you're not going for the whatever those classic tee, bacon free, although whatever. It's like the one you get like 3 or 4 awesome wears, and then it sits around your house the whole time because you lose the sleeves. I mean, at this point in time, I might as well cut the sleeves off.
I thought you did.
Exactly.
It's kind of your trademark. I mean, my Costco Hurley is still hanging in there. You got to go black.
Yes.
Navy blue works, but
it's my aesthetic.
But I will say,
and the lighting is like they're beating down on it.
Like you're making I just have red arms from they're folded, but the contrast of the creamies, it's nice.
It's because they won't allow tank tops on golf courses, and when they do, the creamy biceps era will be over.
That is your shirt, so I'm not sure if you're gonna get.
It's true. This is my.
You can go to Sligo on Friday. It's gonna be gorgeous.
It is going to be gorgeous.
Slip into a little.
So we don't have to worry about. We're taking in the sports off seasons in a different way as Commanders fans, and that's. I just started noticing it. I just started noticing that they weren't always trying to figure out a way to like wedge us in. I feel like there was like the production meetings for all these places, and they're like, "Hey, Washington's a top 5 media market. Like we just can't lose them. We just cannot talk about them for 20 years while they're so we just have to invent ways to include Washington football, and they did a great job, and we ate it up.
Now they want to say nice stuff because they know how smart Peters is, and they don't want to get caught on the flip side of what he does or says, so they don't look like a butt. That's it. Everyone's
That's
like,
right.
Don't mess with this guy. Let's see what he does in this draft before you hop on him.
You make your money as a talking head and a pundit and a columnist, all you're for a variety of reasons, but one of them is to pick apart, a subject. And
you heard he got that right. He said that first. Oh my God, I hate it.
So we were literally like prime, like we were like the Airbnb for that for 20 years. People just hung out. We were a great target. So the Adam Peters era is going smoothly. No big ticket additions at this point or any time. So you know what? You know why it sounds muffled? Because I think it's coming through the wrong. I think it's coming through the wrong mic. Let me see if I can change this up. We'll see if we can't change this up.
You sure about the mid? Now, do I hum a little ditty?
No, now it's different. Now it's changed. Did that sound different? By the way, that harkens us back for like 5 or 6 years.
We hearkened.
We just hearkened. We just basically used the people who are hanging out with us on a Tuesday to help us.
I'm not sure if I hearkened.
See, I know. Greg said it when he said it's muffled. That he was trying to tell us something. He was trying. So all of our sound was going through the.
I was getting the wrong signals. I apologize.
Yeah, you were getting the wrong signals.
That was just a muff grab. You know what I mean?
Because no one's gonna say, "Hey, you're using
way better."
It's way better. Yeah, you're using the microphone from Ken's laptop instead of these microphones that are hung out.
Oh, I thought he was accusing us of talking through our muffs. Jesus.
Yeah, look at this. We made everybody so happy just by tuning in. To it's like the muff is like dude. And you can use it. It's used in every possible fashion. It's like Smurf.
Not like bro. Muff.
Not like bro.
What the
muff?
What the muff? All right. Try not saying that tomorrow. Twice.
And yes, you're covering up one of your ears. That's the problem you're having. So we'll work on that. What is this? Is there like assign audio channels? No chance. All right, so Adam Peters, Dan Quinn, and company are marching towards the draft next week, currently sitting number 29. As we go through this show, I think we're going to operate under the assumption at this point in time that we're picking at 29. That's how, everyone wants to trade back. We see, we could, we might, who knows? Everyone else has to want to.
Of course we want to.
Yeah. So
it's not that easy. It's not like a given thing.
Yeah.
People are like, we should trade back. You're like, you need somebody else.
Got to have a plan.
You have to have an idea what you're doing.
No matter what, you have to know whose name you would write on a piece of paper and run up to that podium, because as much as you want to trade back, it takes someone else on the other end of the phone, and if there's not, you got to have a plan. And so
you always got to have a plan.
Which is a new thing for us.
I know,
but it's working out in the early stages. I'm pretty excited about it.
We were figuring it out as it was in motion previously, which that was fun.
It was like we were talking in the wrong microphones for 20 years. The beauty, I should say, of of focusing on who we pick at 29 is that we can get to the real part, like the real meat of it.
There's
The
25
beauty is
dudes.
because we get past the will we or won't we pick at 29. Just forget about that. Tee up the ball, and what's it going to be? I think you get to argue the need versus BPA. You get to argue all kinds of stuff.
Well, let's just say if there's a quarterback that's our highest ranked player, we will not be selecting him. So, I mean, like, yes, best player available to us in our situation as is present.
Scheme specific.
Yeah, talking about now, today. There's a million ways to do that. But
in the scheme specific era of drafting, which has, I mean, it's always kind of been, part of it, but the real push for it, I think, happened since we've been doing this over the last 10 years, where you could legitimately see a guy be just a clear star in the NFL, but it really only be attractive to 8 or 9 teams who may or may not have the luxury of drafting that guy until 2 rounds later. And then everyone's like scratching their head, like, how did this cornerback go here? Well, it's because he's he's not a slot corner. He can't play the slot. He's more physical. He's probably all these different reasons. And then this coach likes him this way. Speaking of liking him this way, at 29, I know what will be available. And that's size, strength, physicality, agility, and speed, based on all the pro days and combines and everything that people watch on tape. At number 29, there will be somebody who checks every box on Adam Peters' physical parameter checklist.
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think there will be.
I think it's a shitty draft.
I don't.
For the last week, I've poured myself into it, and I'm like, man, like these guys are getting carved up due to years as opposed to years past. These guys are just getting like, there is a flaw with everyone. There's just no like, I don't know, man. I don't know if this is a great draft. I don't know what we're supposed to. I've never been so confused about what I think we think. I never would say what I thought we should do. What I think we think we're going to do. What I think Adam Peters and company is going to do. Because obviously I want to trade back and let him go to work and have more hacks at it in those middle rounds, especially the earlier middle rounds. But I have no idea, man. Some of these guys that you're talking about that you say right now, he's checked every box. I'm not sure, but it's all relative.
Okay, so what about just from a black and white? Is he this tall? Is he this long? Is he this fast?
I think each guy has at that spot has a little something you could stamp and be like.
Because Adam Peters has he's checking it twice.
Right.
I mean,
James Pierce Jr. How about that? The guy from Tennessee that
Shamar
was
Stewart,
all over
James
the place.
Pierce.
Well, James Pierce is a little light in the ass, and he's going to have a hard time controlling the edge. So he's going to be used as a one-trick pony, as a pass rusher. Guy? Are we going to bring him along and develop him? Is that what we're trying to do? I'm just saying.
I don't think you go Jamin Davis or some of these guys where you just try to overload them with the ability to do every possible thing. I do think, well, just as a putting a pin in that, I do think you could go for somebody who's you pin their ears back and send them after the quarterback. But talking about what you said first, which was the notion of how good is this draft? Well, there's players, there's guys who can start for every single team in this league on day one, and there's guys who, if given an opportunity to learn and develop, will turn into 1 or 2 Hall of Famers. We know that that's the way it works. However, if we don't know, if we don't think that if you're not sure, like you just kind of expressed better than I am about, is this the year? Is this the year you try to build up draft resources, or is this the year you use draft picks? Year. Is this the year you use draft picks to pick up a left tackle? And number 1 wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like, that's part of also potentially the genius of Adam Peters.
And there's some badass defensive linemen in the mix that, who knows? Who cares?
I'm saying we ducked out of this draft a little bit.
A little bit, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And I think it's understood why. And I think a lot of teams understand why. At 29, you're sitting here going like, oh, well, a lot of these dudes are going to be the same dudes in 100, 150 picks-ish. Now, I do like the dude, Scourton from Texas A&M. Everything I read about him, yes, is that he's a plug-and-play, instant go-get-him, three-down monster.
Everywhere.
Me too.
It's crazy.
Me too, but I like what I see about him, and I don't care about some of the weird places that have to take a cool guy and throw him down low just to get some clicks.
James Pierce is 6'5", right?
Yeah, 6'5", 245.
To me, if he's there, I'm probably taking him.
Oh, he is an explosion ready to happen. He will grow up. Too. He will fill out. And
Nick, by the way, Nick,
he's smaller, shorter, but he is. They say he's a pro. He's a wise man's pass rusher with that same burst. So listen, either way, you're getting a badass. That's cool. That would be fun. I'd be so happy if we got either of those two.
If it's true that either way you get a badass, then you have to take the 6'5", 240 guy.
That's fine with me.
Especially under this regime.
I'm not saying he can't defend the run. I'm saying he's 6'5", 245. That doesn't strike me as a typical edge guy. We're talking about Dorrance. We're talking about Wise, Dietz. We're talking about Clellan Ferrell. We're talking about the dude from Arkansas. That's what he's got the numbers. He's 6'6", 280.
Is that at Shamar?
I
can't remember his name.
Here, there he is. Landon Jackson.
Yeah.
6'6", 280. That looks like one of our guys, but one of our guys that sets the edge and sits there for a freaking half an hour and waits for someone so he can swallow them up whole. Not someone that just, with a deep bend, gets around ankle high with his freaking elbow scraping up and makes a play.
I think we got a deep bender possibility at 29.
We do. We have two of them, I think.
Shamar, Nick, and James.
Those two, and I think, and I'm not so much.
And they could be gone.
Absolutely, it very well might be. And because Landon Jackson, who knows, 6'6", 280, you're not doing them deep bend. But so I just don't know. I know that Landon Jackson's the type of guy we get, and I know certainly James Pierce is as well.
Yep.
And so would Nick Scouter. So
is it Shamar Stewart?
Yes,
that's another one of them. Another defensive end guy who's got some. I think he's 6'4", 6'5" as well. I could be mistaken, but I believe he is. I
don't even put him down because I thought he was going to be drafted already.
I think he could be, but I think again, the GMs are probably having the same kind of conversations we are. That maybe they're able to parse them better than us because they're pros. But Shamar, James, and Nick, along with maybe one or two other dudes. I think
everyone's talking about the big dude
it's eye of the beholder.
From Boston College. Another big, thick bastard that it kind of suits what we like to do. Motor.
How tall is he? What's his?
Yeah, it's 6'5", 2. I don't have it's Ezek around you. He's like 6'3", 6'4". And
I've seen him mock test a number of times.
Something. He's 265, I believe, and he plays like a beast. So yeah, those are the guys.
I think that's what we're doing.
Do Swinson from LSU, who's explosive as shit at 6'3", 250, 253. There's guys like that, but as you go down that list, they each have a different, apparently fatal flaw according to like NFL and Lance Zierlein and some of these critical critics that are really hammering this draft. And I mean,
Chase Young was a generational number 2 overall pick for us, and we love Chase.
He just turned 26.
Yeah, and he's
How
still
young does that sound? He just turned 26,
continuing to make a living, and I actually don't think he's done playing here. And that's actually the truth. Because I think he's going to be around for a hot second, and he's a one-trick pony in terms of what he brings. What you're going to ask him to do.
I think if you asked him, he would laugh so hard right now about that possibility. Yeah. But
he could be like a 32-year-old guy looking to make get another a 1-year contract from Adam Peters.
And by then, in 8 years, what are those 1 years going to be worth for an edge rush to fill out?
It'll be
and
all the money.
Look out for a young buck coming into the league.
Yeah. I think we're going to find out about Adam Peters. I think if we sit on that pick, especially if we go with those guys, I think you're going to look at a guy who says, I need the size, I need the strength, speed, and physicality. I think this is the guy, like, I don't know, Bruce Allen and Vinny Serrato. I don't even want to say their names in the same time frame as Adam Peters, but what they like put their, we've said it before, they put their, with how they weighted the scales with guys that they drafted, it seemed somewhat arbitrary, but also like high school captains and debate team champions, and it was like, what is going on here? Adam Peters says, I'm gonna get a good player, number 29. I would like him to be 6'5", 2 something, blah blah blah. I think that's the era that we live in for the Commanders. I think we're going to be throwing the biggest 11 guys at teams every single Sunday. I don't think we're the only ones who do it, who think like that. I think we're one of the only ones who didn't think like that.
Biggest baddest.
Sure.
Yes, size is of importance, but if you play like a punk, you're not seeing. So it doesn't have to just be,
Well, you're getting him in the first round.
Herbig is a big, massive badass, but he
Foko.
plays like it. He plays like it. He throws his weight around. All 360
Big Nate.
of them. Yes.
The numbers game, the money ball, if you will, part of the draft calculation for Adam Peters. He gets to use it more when you're drafting in the top whatever. I mean, Jaden Daniels. No one talked about him being the tallest or the longest or the fastest or anything. They talked about him being the most ready to play quarterback. He was the number 2 overall pick in the draft. At number 29 overall,
most accurate, which was the most important sentence.
Most accurate,
as long as you're not an asshole.
We can parse through. There's plenty of dudes who could be picked from anywhere from 20 to 50, and you don't get to pick again until the end of the second round. So for us, I think it's really like, who do we like between like 25 and 65? Like who do we like in that round? Because if you love somebody enough, and you're not going to be able to get him in the second round, you might have to put a ring on in the first.
Yeah, I get it. And listen, we're going to get a guy that we like, and we're going to get a guy that we've graded. He's a commander, a golden commander. Was that? Remember how that went? He's a gold. We got him rated as a golden. I just remember his gold. Board, remind me if you do. I was just going to ask the board what they want and what you want.
Yeah.
Not who, where, and what in that.
What position?
Just to come out of day one after day 2. What do we have?
2 guys, right?
What do we have? You have 2 options. Yes.
Currently.
And one of them, listen, as a fan, you look at some of these receivers and you're like, ooh, that'd be so cool as a fan, or the fast running back. But is that what we need? Is that the yes, but is that our most important need? So as a fan, guys, your opinion, just what do you want?
You have to hit on it, right? That's the beauty of, because
of course
every year there's wide receivers that come out in the middle of the draft that are excellent NFL wide receivers, but Rod Gardner could have been excellent. Taylor Jacobs could have been excellent. Michael Westbrook could have been more excellent. We've Desmond Howard, you name it. We've drafted guys.
Desmond.
Devon and Malcolm came in
great
together.
Rappers. They rap their asses off.
Or Devin and Malcolm. So again, there's talent at these positions. If you want to dip on the wide receivers in the second round, you just have to believe that Adam Peters isn't going to bring Malcolm Kelly home in the car.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
That is a big splurge.
Yeah.
It's a big receiver splurge in the second with what we possibly need.
About 2 wide receivers
at cornerback,
and while skipping over Deshaun Jackson, I think both times, if I'm not mistaken.
And wasn't Fred Davis in that same round? He was.
3 guys,
all 3 in the second round,
and of course he was. Sleepy.
Oh Jesus God! So to be fair, we're not doing that.
We're not doing that.
That's not happening.
Oh man!
And we're going to get a badass. But I will say, if you've mock drafted 100 billion times on these goofy sites, you still get an idea of this. If you splurge for that guy in the second round, even if it's that running back, you're going to lose out on a shit ton of D tackles, edges,
a couple
guards,
corners,
couple tackles, and
safety.
Some corners. So I'm just saying, how important is it? And right now, if you look at it, our receiver room. If Michael Gallup could come back and play anywhere near the level he was at,
so slanted against him because he was a cowboy, but that's just.
But he ran. But he does what we need. We need someone to take the top off and get.
He's a professional.
Yes. So we don't have to draft somebody that's a one-trick guy that can only do that.
Yeah, you can pay it
at second when you can get that guy in the 4th or 5th. I'm just saying.
The senior citizen.
And as soon as we draft one of these running backs, which goddamn, I'm going to tell you, I want a badass just.
So do you like, what's his name, Blue from Texas?
He's fine. I'm saying if we're going to get a guy, let's get an every down,
3
down, badass. There's no Bijan Robinson out there, but I would take
Jameer Gibbs.
I would take either of the Ohio State guys. I would obviously take Omarion if he was there, and that would be thrilling.
Yep.
Thrilling. But also,
that's the first round.
Like Adam Peters always says.
You're talking about the first round.
Or no, I'm just saying, if there's a second round guy sitting right there.
Okay. Because the Ohio State running back,
some of these guys have been falling in various mocks, and you know what'll happen. I mean, there's freaking a dozen of them, but like even the dude from Virginia Tech, Bashal Tootin, he's kind of a badass. I dig that dude's game.
But if you like one of those guys,
I know
you're gonna have to take him in the bottom of the first.
I know, and
or I should say,
obviously,
it
would be glorious. It would be glorious to trade down and gain a pick, not just a swap, which would be fun, just to gain one, to pull a rabbit out of our ass and get a second and get another crack at it. But I don't know that we necessarily are forcing ourselves into that this year because of what we talked about previously. You know, he can play the game relatively against anyone right now, but with only five coins, I guess you'll say. It's a little bit different for him this year. It's a little bit different for Adam Peters. So I think he'll be a sniper. He'll be very efficient, but we're going to go get a couple things, a couple toys. And there's going to be some speed, size, and badassery involved.
If you look at kind of like who we are on paper, the best chance for someone in the first and second rounds, two guys, the best chance for two guys to come in and start for us right away are edge rusher. If you get to, a first round edge rusher, he's starting for us on day one, obviously.
Yeah, and a certain package. I mean, we got three veterans sitting there, but
he's gonna be in the mix right away. The second one I was thinking is, maybe safety if you get if you get that Nick Warwick dude, if he falls to you and you love him, but not safety. To me, it's like I thought maybe it would be wide receiver, but I don't think so either. I think they are in love with the way that they're going to operate that. I think it's probably running back. That's to me. That's that would be the player that you could justify throwing right into the mix.
If we draft a running back, you can bet your sweet ass that the homework was done and he was a guy, a 3-down guy, a pass protector, a pass catcher, a non-fumbler, a warrior, and a dude that doesn't have too much wear and tear. And that seems to be either dude from Ohio State or Omarion.
Well, the Texas guy, only because
I get it.
Texas always has 1,000 running backs.
But I'm just saying this. Damn it. That means that we're going to miss out on a warrior. It does.
So, but if you get so I like the way you were saying it before. If we got an edge in the first round and a running back in the second round, I would be like, we won the draft. We won the freaking draft because we would assume that both of those players got the Adam Peters stamp of approval and we're going to come in and be impact players. If we picked a running back and an edge rusher,
impact
those to me, I would say I would be happy with those two picks, which is funny to me because I went back and looked at Redskins drafts from the last however many years, not just the years we've been covering it since 2015, but even beyond. I mean, we have some meager draft classes. We traded away a lot of picks over the years. We have a couple that'll real fit into a nice tight little screen. Just a few picks. It's crazy. It's crazy how few picks we've had in some years.
I know,
and how little we've done with those few picks.
This guy has had years where he's had 5 when he was the assistant GM, and I just like to focus in on the fact that in those 6 years he had 3 Pro Bowl selections drafted post 5th round. 3 guys: Tafanga, the safety, Kittle, and
that bill is coming due.
And Brock Purdy.
The bill's coming due. They have. But what they were able to. No one's been able to. I'm trying to remember, and I know they didn't win Super Bowls with this group, but I can't remember.
They had some bad luck.
A team with that many,
they were right there,
all pro, first level, all stars on the roster that they stayed together that long without new guys coming in, and being super team NBA style,
right. And that's where this argument is about the running back, because if we do get one of those running backs, Christian McCaffrey. I think Scatterbo. I wanted to tell you this today.
Is it Scatterbo?
Scatterbo.
I always said Scatterbo, but I heard him say Scatterbo.
Scatterbo. It's B-O, but it's pronounced Boo.
Okay, tell me.
Scatterbo. I think he's a combo. McCaffrey. 1/3 McCaffrey, 2/3 juice check. Do they think the same?
I think he's good. I think you motion him out and throw the ball to him.
But he's not fast. So
but he'll get you 5.5 yards.
But if you motion him out and a fast guy guards him, he ain't getting you nothing. Is what I'm saying.
But he can run over a fast guy for 5 yards.
He's more of an inside the tackles guy. Sure. I believe he's a keg leg bastard. I think he just broad jumped 10-3, and his vertical is 40 inches. He's
an animal.
He's 5'9", 220 with a 40-inch vertical.
I want him.
Let's do the tush push with him. And just friggin'.
I think he's going to be good.
Gummy bears the shit out of it. Let that guy just eject over. But
I think he's going to be.
I now want him again. Okay, yes, I want him later. Yes. I want him
you
somehow.
Can't have him later.
Yeah, we can.
No. Okay, if we trade back, yes.
Right.
If we have to,
we can't have him now. He's not a second round pick.
I don't disagree with what you're saying.
He shakes tacklers off like a son of a bitch.
You only draft him because you want him. You only draft him in the end of the second round because you're like, you know what? I want him. I want to. That's the running back I want.
Because he has part juice check and part McCaffrey. I mean, he's a standing broad jump of like from here to that door. I mean, that's ridiculous for a man shaped like that. He can
throw himself,
and he can jump up. And he's a nut, and he's quick as shit. But I mean, shit.
No one throws it outside. No one throws it to the edge more than us, more than Cliff Kingsbury.
Can he get to the edge?
No. He'll motion out there and start on the edge. And all Jaden Daniels has to do is throw it right to him right away. And then what's worst case scenario? You're getting like 5 yards. Best case scenario, 8.5.
I love you're trying to fucking throw a hitch to this guy the whole show. All night tonight and last week. You were trying to motion Scatterboo out to throw him a 5-yard hitch in coverage.
Not a hitch. I'm talking like a quick hitter on the line. So okay, remember the Lions game? The Lions game, when we had the 3 wide receivers out left, Terry McLaurin. When you throw
smoke to a slow guy, it's usually a 1.5 yard loss.
It's a read play, right? So
I get it.
They put 3 guys out on the far left. Detroit brought the safety in, and it was 3-on-2, and then Terry McLaurin broke that long play.
It's a speed play.
And he had to break 2 tackles.
No, he had to break through.
Scatterboo's
going to be trying to break them tackles 1.5 yards in the backfield. Try not to fumble. We're not throwing him smokes. Just Scatterboo inside for a little bit.
Okay, for a little bit.
Scatterboo inside for a while.
I'm throwing him. Jaden Daniels is getting him the ball. And points, it'll be like, oh my gosh, he got the ball in 0.67 seconds.
And
0.67.
Yes, that's great. But then it takes him another 0.67 to get started. But I love him once he gets going.
He's just, you know what? He's
5'9".
We just inducted. I was going to tell you.
He's 5'9".
He just got his on. He's in the club. We inducted him last week. He's a Husky, just like us. We're Huskies. He's a Husky. I want as many Husky guys as we can get, and I mean that in the most football sense imaginable. One thing we will do tonight before we close out, and we're 30 minutes in, so let's work our way there, Greg. Is we are going to we're going to clear the deck a little bit. We're going to draft the first 12 guys of this draft as a team, all of us, people on the board, people here. And that way, between the end of the show and next week, we're not spending any time on at least some players that will we will say are not available. We can really hone in on, again, who we're drafting at number 29, assuming that we make that pick. And I think that it's okay to go in like we can say in this show, like we've already been talking about James Pierce, like that's the guy that we like. I mean, if we walk away from the draft with James Pierce, guess what? We're celebrating.
It's fun.
We're celebrating. So there's a couple of different outcomes that result in that. Obviously, there's no. Can we all agree that there's not a first round wide receiver or running back on our board at number 29? Is that fair?
I don't know that. Okay. What if Emeka Egbuka is still standing there?
He might be, by the way.
There. Jalen Royals, Jalen Noel, they're both flying around that little spot. Okay. I think there definitely could be one, but I think that's when you're like, all right, that's when we're not doing anything physical. We're just finding little toys out there. Listen, you better love that guy, and I don't know who that would possibly be because, listen, I love Emeka Egbuka, and I love his game, but he's not fast.
Yeah,
he's a badass that works the inside, and he's Mr. Trusty. But I want what the staff wants: serious speed, a serious speed. I look at these smaller guys. There's 5 corners I looked at that weigh less than 185 pounds, and I'm like, we ain't drafting them. I mean, we can't wait to get rid of guys like that and get little compact badasses or monster 6 foot, 225-pound D-backs. And let me tell you this: in his 6 years as the assistant GM, the last 3 was the top-notch guy, second to the boss. Adam Peters, including last year with us, averages 2 D-backs drafted per year, which is crazy to me. Crazy.
I would bet
more so than the bigs. I thought it would have been the bigs, right?
If FanDuel gave us the option of whether or not we'll come away with a corner or safety in this draft, I would bet 1,000% yes, we will.
Maybe both, because like I said, from I think 2017 or 2018 until last year, there was 14 people selected that Adam Peters was in on and studied the shit out of over months and weeks. And spent a shit ton of time on that he selected. And by the way, I believe the last 39 selections and the last 48 of 49 selections that Adam Peters was a part of, those guys still have a job in this league.
Yeah.
That's effing nuts. And the percentage of guys that he has been a part of drafting and drafted in this league that are still active it's remarkable. It's remarkable what he's done since 2017 in this league as a judge of talent. I cannot wait to see him go to work this weekend. Can't wait to follow it. With our 5 coins, let's see if we get more cracks. We're going to get one more. We just got to.
So I think that, you always want to give a guy like Adam Peters as many picks as possible because you think he knows how to pick them. But at the same time, we have used picks already in a way that,
it's true.
We've already kind of opened that bifold wallet of draft picks and shelled out some dollars for Debo and Laramie. So I'm judging our draft already on Debo and Laramie Tunsil. It's a pretty strong draft.
It is an adorable way of looking at things after the year's gone. But that's how we've always looked at it.
Yeah. So and if we only had 5 picks, I think, and we didn't. So I think there's 2 different ways to look at getting more picks. There's the are we adding more picks this year and potentially next year, or are we trading back to get to bankroll some things, or are we still considering paying up for some things, and which would almost certainly mean having to use picks also from next year with whatever pick we had for this year to move up to something.
I know.
So those are, and I think in both cases that you can make the argument that, I think we would all make the argument, hey, Adam Peters is like my baby gets what my baby wants. If that's what he says, let's do it.
With LL pumping in the background, I go to work. Mm-hmm. Let's let him do what he does. 3 out of the 365 is what he is born for. And when he gets in the mix of that, he is so cool, calm, and collective. He's just like our freaking QB. That must have been the easiest pick in the world for him last year. Because as all hell was going on around him, that son of a bitch assassin was sitting there smirking the whole goddamn time, just picking gold members. I mean, what was the gold standard commander? The golden commander. This sounds gross. I'm just going to get really gross.
Let's just get them all out. I don't understand what's happening.
I couldn't remember what it was, but I know I was pumped up listening to him tell the story.
Is there a shower involved? I'm not sure. No. Okay, just making sure. Yeah, Greg, top 12 picks. Top 12 picks this week. Kevin and I will each pick one. The board, and whoever, let's get some group involvement here. Who wants to be... Is Ant out there? I don't know. He might be listening, or he might be at a sanitation convention. I'm not sure which one or the other. He's a Jets fan, but he hangs out on the board with us. Let's see. We have Ken Harris, NES, Keegan, some active commenters. Who wants to pick? Here's what we're doing. We're taking the first 12 picks. We're gonna just line them up and we're gonna knock them down. These are year in and year out, for the most part, pretty well established and known. But the names that we're going to say, they're clearly not going to be available for us when we draft. So let's not waste any more time even thinking about it. The first overall pick, we do need we need a board member.
Someone jump in there.
We have 4 rounds of 3 picks each. 4 rounds of 3 picks each. That gets just to 12 picks. I'll wait for. We'll wait. I just saw. You know what? It's a translation situation because I just looked, and damn if we're not blowing up in Lithuania tonight. We are live.
I don't think that's very polite to say.
On the streets of Lithuania. There's 17 million Lithuanians watching right now, but they're probably not as in tune to the first round of the draft.
Was it like that Serbian basketball crowd I saw on the internet today? Holy Jesus! We need to tap into that.
Take it easy.
Take it easy. I'm talking about for the podcast.
Understood. I just want to make sure that everyone understands. No one's tapping into anything.
Listen here,
Serbian. No one Serbians are being tapped.
Did you notice I was wearing my Air Jokers tonight?
What do we got? Come on, guys, step up. Someone's got no trades. Board member has number 1. Board member has. Oh yeah, we're gonna give the board. Whoever picks from the board, you get the first overall pick. So you're gonna draft Titans, Pats, Jets, and Bears. Kevin, you're drafting for the Browns at number 2, the Jags at number 5, the Panthers at number 8, and the Niners at 11, which I love. Oh man, mine's so unsexy. I get the Giants, Raiders, Saints, and Cowboys. Seriously, 2 NFC East teams. That's fine. I hope they like punters because that's what they're getting in the first round.
By the way, in his last year in San Fran, Peters drafted a kicker in the second round. You know this? Jake Moody.
Yeah, I did. Well, it was at Texas
I know
A&M.
they had some severe salary cap things, and that was part of it, and multiple picks on that second. But creeped me out.
That's how they chased Robbie Gould out, right?
Maybe, but when I saw it, I had
all right, Ken Harris stepped up. Ken Harris on the board, picking number 1 overall for the board. Cam Ward goes to the Titans. I think that's a no-brainer.
Yep.
And by the way, I love Cam Ward. I think he's going to be a good pro. I think the Titans are a fine spot for him. I don't know. I don't want to live in a world where the Titans are a dominant NFL team. However, whatever. I think Cam Ward's going to be fun to watch. I think if you're watching the Red Zone, if you're playing fantasy football, he's going to be interesting. All right, J Dubs, you get to pick the next one for the board. But the board picks the Patriots at number 4. Kevin, you're on the clock.
Well, this is easy for me, and he's going to bring this city such joy, and his girlfriend might not. But Travis Hunter, baby. If I am the Browns, I am taking. Does he
give you like Manti Te'o vibes?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. But he just is such a young goofball. He's so great at playing football that he can't be that good at other things.
He can't be good.
And right now, he's getting terrible advice. This lady friend of his is horrific.
It's all terrible.
He needs to pull a CD Lamb on draft day and just end it right there. And then
I can't believe Dion is
not
like that.
dangerous.
No one knows more about. No one's seen more situations like that than Dion.
He is. It's got to be killing him. It has got. It has got. It's
got to have someone be like, "Hey, listen. Here's what you're doing,
bro.
You're gonna go over to Travis. You're gonna be like, hey,
Muff,
you're muffing it up.
Listen up here, Muff.
Listen.
All right. Well, I took Travis.
All right, Travis Hunter off the board. Oh, by the way,
you like to filibuster during these drafts.
It's not a filibustering.
No. I filibuster there.
It's gold-plated content.
You just
it's
reminded
gold,
me
Jerry.
that you like to filibuster.
It's gold,
I was
Jerry.
filibustering because I brought up Travis freaking Hunter's girlfriend. That's filibustering in itself.
So I guess that it is me on the Giants. I think. Let's see. I think the Giants will draft Shador Sanders. And the main reason why I say that is because they just signed Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and Danny DeVito. I feel like that quarterback room needs just a little spice of life. Bring the Sanders in, and this is the team that's on fire in the league right now.
Dangerous. Jameis,
Abdul
DeVito,
Carter, by the way,
and Dion's kid
is the best player.
Holy schmoly!
If you,
no, you're not allowed to. Come on, that's table talk. Sir.
I'm horrified. I'm horrified because
you did it on purpose for the demise of the Giants, and we all appreciate you.
I'm horrified that guy could come into our division because I think he's that good. But
who?
Abdul.
Oh yeah. Oh.
In
talking about Shador.
Mm-mm.
Yes. because I strenuously object. I think he's fine.
I want Shador in our division.
He'll be fine.
I have no problem
think he's
with
gonna be a bust. Exactly. He's fine.
Let's send. Thank you, NES. We're sending. They do need a quarterback. I think So like, here's the deal for New York. Like, John Mara's been around forever. I know we're talking a little bit too much about my pick, and I'm not filibustering. But John Mara, he's an old school owner. The family is an old school family. These guys they do not see the NFL in terms of 1 year at a time. They just don't. They see it in terms of generations at a time. And they could easily look at Arch Manning and say, that's the one that I want. And they could throw away a season because they really don't care. And so, which, by the way, I think Danny DeVito, Jameis Winston, and Russell Wilson, you could really find yourself you could really like very easily map a 4-win season out of that somehow, some way. I mean, I think you're talking about in like the perfect scenario, all of those quarterbacks each get benched at least 2 times at some point this season. Just because.
I can't even.
And that's the problem with New York right now. I mean, I don't know. Russell Wilson, he could have been great somewhere else. He should have found his way to Pete Carroll. Or who's up right now? I have to go. Are we snaking? Shit. Is that true?
You said the board was up for 4.
Board's 4.
Then
Patriots. J-Dubs.
Yeah.
Who are the Patriots taking at number 4?
There you go.
Greg, I don't disagree. The Giants do not need a quarterback. They need a great player.
I think both those quarterback deals were 1-year deals, correct? I don't know about DeVito's. They have 3 1-year deals?
I think they signed DeVito for like 3 months. He's got like a 3-month deal.
No taking long shits. No taking long showers. This is not a spa.
This is not a spa. Memba. Okay. Membu.
Yeah, big old Armand. Yeah. Membo.
Yeah. What position will he play on day 1 for the Patriots?
Gigantic monster of a tackle. I'm not sure if he'll play the left side. I don't know. He's a massive monster of a man.
That's what they need. That's the way you do it. Bring in a quarterback, then bring in a left tackle. By the way, that's what we did. So that's what they should be doing as well. So number 5 goes to Kevin, drafting for the Jags.
It's everyone's D tackle pick, and you got to have one. And down there, they always do. And I'm going to take Mason Graham out of Michigan. He has the potential to be something that could be special.
You'll take Mason Graham over Abdul Carter.
I did.
Okay. That's crazy to me.
Mason Graham in some circles has a higher,
yes.
I think has a higher ceiling.
Yes.
And Jacksonville, well, they need high ceilings. They're not gonna, they just need they need a big boost. Need a big boost. And I'm sure Abdul Carter will be fantastic for them and anyone else that he goes to. But
so Mason Graham, obviously, this is why I like doing this now. Obviously, I'm not even trying to envision him in a Commanders jersey, but that is a player that if you watch enough football, that's who you want on your team,
and that's who general managers want on their team, and that's the guy that clears up a lot and takes care of a lot of the bullshit, and that's why these guys get paid in that first contract, and that's why a lot of these average dudes get crazy numbers and receivers as well. But yeah, this guy's a factor on the defensive line. If you can get a decisive dude that changes the game at the spot, I mean, that's cool. I'm not saying he's going to, but he has the traits that suggest he may at some point.
Here's the thing also about guys like Mason Graham. And listen, he doesn't, this isn't like no one's taking a flyer on Mason Graham. Like he's a proven guy. The whole, like the thing about like the Michigan defensive line and defensive lines like that in college now, for the most part, they're being picked by professional, like by NFL talent evaluator folks, Jim Harbaugh and his staff, the new staff. The top end of college football is dominated by NFL folks. And they found their way there. They're getting paid. They're picking guys. They're pumping out and by the way, again, the area we think about Caleb Williams and we think about Nico Iamaleava or whatever that guy's name pretends to be. Quarterbacks making tons of money.
Hold on.
These guys are professional athletes.
I'm going to stop you in
Mason
1 second.
Graham.
You just took me down a whole place, then took me down a whole other place, and it's your effing pick. You do this every time it's your pick. I just want everyone to notice. You're now telling your third story before it's your pick.
We're telling my third
Just
story.
make a choice.
Mason Graham and guys like this are professional athletes. They've been getting paid top dollar to ply their craft, and the programs like Michigan and Ohio State and Georgia. Again, the people that are the GMs, like we're now seeing in real time, they're bringing in these quote unquote GMs to come run their college football and basketball programs. These are professional scouts. These are professional talent evaluators. You pick a guy. Sometimes.
There's a bunch of different people getting these roles, which is crazy.
It's crazy, but they know the pro game. And picking Mason, I'm just trying to wrap my mind around picking Mason Graham over, because the fact that Abdul Carter falls to the Raiders, I had someone who I knew I was going to take for the Raiders.
You don't have to rush the passer if they're running it up your ass in the NFL all day long. And what feels worse than, we know this, and we had our best year ever. What feels worse than anything when you can't stop the run? Well, Mason Graham stops the goddamn run and can rush the
goddamn run,
and can take on double teams.
Yep.
and become victorious every third. I'm just saying he's that type of player.
I will take McMillan, the wide receiver from Arizona.
I write T-E-T because I don't want to say the rest.
Tetaroa. I don't know how to say his name either.
Tet McMillan. Tet Mac.
Tet Mac. I mean, the first receiver off the board. I think that's where he's going. Wait, Ken Harris. He's giving me some. Most likely to miss getting a pick in. Really? I guess it's possible. But I didn't miss. I made it in.
I don't know.
At the buzzer. At the buzzer.
I know.
Now who's?
I would like control of the buzzer.
Now who's behind the times? Who's up? I don't even know.
The board, sir.
The board is up.
Then me, then you.
All right, so
the board.
Ken Harris gets to pick this one for the board, and then J Dubs gets the last pick for the board. So Ken Harris is up and is picking for
the New York Football Jets.
Ooh, I like that.
How about it?
Man, if Abdul Carter falls to the New York Jets, because there's some Jets fans on the board watching the show tonight, I think they'd be ecstatic.
Are they with the Serbians or the Croatians?
I'll say more the Lithuanians.
Yes, the Lithuanians, who I was reminded as I filibust for the board, the Grateful Dead paid for the Lithuanians basketball every fee into the Olympics in 1992, gave them the tie-dye shirts, and it was just the anniversary of it all, and they won the bronze. The nation that had $0. I thought that was one of the coolest things ever. Shout out Grateful Dead.
Shout out Grateful Dead.
Unbroken chain up in that bad boy.
Jets take the biggest bust available, according to Greg Martin. We're about to find out who that is. Ken Harris, who is the biggest bust available? Just tell us. I hope it is. It's Abdul Carter. Abdul Carter apparently is not going to have a great NFL career. I'm
Jets.
I think the Jets are going to be just fine. I think there's a couple teams that need to severely tank for Arch Manning, and they're one of them. They are one of them. All right, so who's up? And who are they picking for? I'm guessing it's
me, and I am picking for the Panthers. And I'm going with my dude, because if we can't have him, and we can't until maybe someday, I want Penn State tight end Tyler Warren, who wants to be like John Riggins, and I'm taking him with the 8th choice as a quarterback's best friend, a Greg Olson type player for the young buck. Mr. Bryce, you got yourself a big old tight end. Tyler Warren, Penn State.
Greg, I did not take Abdul Carter for the Raiders. They did just give Max Crosby a ton of money. They feel like they've invested in the pass rushing defensive alpha male category, so that's why I went with McMillan there.
Here comes Kenneth Philibus, Kenny. Here comes Kenneth Philibus, Kenny Philibus.
Kenneth F. Filibuster.
Kenny F. Buster.
Who am I picking for? Give me this. Set it up for me.
With the 9th choice out of Narlands, them Saints. Who dat gonna pick that player?
Okay. I did not know I was going to be picked to draft for the Saints, and I think this is a team, because I care about the draft. I feel confident in saying this. This is a team that has a lot of holes. A lot of holes to fill in the top 10 of the first round. A lot of different directions they can go. So many question marks about who is even going to be available for them that they're paying millions of dollars to. Okay?
Yeah.
Most notably, Derek Carr, the quarterback, who may or may not be available. It's not like they're like, oh, he might miss training camp or he might miss week 1. They're saying he might miss the entire season.
This podcast might miss the entire season.
Get back. I'm going Cory Booker style. I'm going to be here all night long. I think the Saints are going to shock the world, and this is where they pick my guy, Jackson Dart, the quarterback from Ole Miss, who I love. I am looking forward to watching him in the league. I think he's going to be a dude. He's played in college for a hot second. He's poised. He can take the physicality of the league. I'm not saying he's the most physical player in the world. He can take the physicality of the league. He's got a cannon for an arm.
At number 9, some may say it's a dart in the wind.
It's a dart in the wind. Jackson Dart to the New Orleans Saints. And because Derek Carr's unavailable, I believe he'll be playing right away.
We have a board member in charge of number 10.
Let's go.
Sorry, before I know you probably wanted to.
No.
You sure?
We'll do that in overtime.
Okay. I mean, you do what you do.
Listen, basically what happened is you just signed yourself up for Jackson Dart bio until 3 a.m. in the patio later.
No.
I'm sorry in advance. I didn't want that. No one wanted that, but now we have to do it. J-Dubs, you're up for the board. Who's he picking for? I don't know.
I know. What am I grabbing back here? Tell me. Does it matter?
Oh, right there.
You're too nice. So who do we got up here? It is the Chicago Bears.
Bears need OL. J-Dubs takes Will Campbell.
Yeah,
is that our second offensive lineman pick so far?
He was supposed to have gone. I mean,
yeah, he's right there.
I was. So now I am 11 with San Fran.
Oh, by the way, can we just talk about that for just a while? I'll filibuster for you too.
Sure.
The Chicago Bears, didn't they just sign like 3 all-world offensive linemen or trade? They traded. I know they traded for some dudes. I want to say Jonah Jackson. Did they get Trey Smith from the Chiefs? I mean, they added some dudes on the offensive line. If they also take Will Campbell, I will say that would be. I will not be able to recall in any kind of like recent times a team giving a quarterback that much. Like Pat Mahomes hasn't had that much offensive line talent in front of him. I mean, Brock Purdy was the only one. I think Brock Purdy is the last guy that I can think of who had that much talent in front of him, and he had nothing. They didn't build around Brock Purdy. They just happened to have Trent Williams, McGlinchey.
Very fortuitous for Brock Purdy.
A whole line full of all-pros. It was a good spot for him to land in.
Oh, my God.
If the Bears are going to create that with money and draft picks, good for them. It is a great pick, Ken Harris. Who's up? I just filibustered.
It's me. It's me that's up post-filibust, which is always a difficult drafting scenario. But with the 11th pick, hold on, I just filibustered myself.
The 49ers.
I'm taking the 49ers, a 49ers type guy. 6'3", 251-pound edge, badass Mike Green out of Marshall. Such a bad boy that he was dismissed from Virginia.
Yeah. He's they're going to have an awesome tape reel for him. When you're watching the draft, when his name gets called, everyone's going to look at each other like that. They're going to be like, oh, okay, Mike Green. And you're going to see the film of a guy who you're like, oh yeah, I can see what they saw.
Yeah.
So, but
if we drafted him, we're all doing backwards cartwheels down freaking North Capitol Street.
He's a player, and by the way, I'm glad he's off the board because I think I picked last, number 12, for the Dallas Cowboys. Right?
You do.
And
I expected at least 4 more minutes before this election.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm glad that you took Mike Green. He's a classic Jerry Jones type of a pick. Splashy. I think they need offensive linemen. I would love for this to be an offensive lineman draft for Dallas. I don't want to see him take the running back from Boise State. I don't want to see him.
He hasn't gone, and it's crazy, and I love him.
I love him too. Someone might trade up for him because I think people think that the Cowboys rightfully need a guy like him.
Oh, you got to draft him right now.
But I'm not taking him to Dallas. I would never give them the satisfaction. I'm going to give them an offensive lineman. I'm going to give them Tyler Booker, the Alabama guard. He's going to keep it unsexy. The guy's going to come in. He's going to start for them.
Jay Gruden him.
I'm just going to Jay Gruden the Cowboy. I'm not here to talk. I'm not taking Gianti off the board for Dallas. That's not what I came here to do.
Can I just
what do you got?
Real quick, subpar.
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 Respectably?
Something. Irregardless.
Irrespectable.
Jay Gruden lost, I believe, 11 of his last 12 games in town, sandwiched in over a 2-year span. The man who won that game for Jay Gruden has only ever won one game in the NFL. Who is that man? Who is that masked man? Who is that face masked man?
B. Shotty?
Say it again.
Brian Schottenheimer?
No. Starting at quarterback.
Oh, you're talking about a player, not a coach.
Jay Gruden.
For him. Sorry. Okay,
Jay
say it
Gruden.
again.
Jay Gruden, I believe 11 of his last 12 over a 2-year span.
Mm-hmm.
In the one win he had,
I know this
that
answer.
man won one game in his entire career.
Ooh, Kev.
Hold on. Okay, go ahead, Ken.
Josh Johnson.
It is Josh effing Johnson.
Now,
he has one win ever, and it was Jay's final victory in town. There you go, Ken.
He took over, by the way, he took over for Mark Sanchez.
Stop. We were there.
We were there.
My son's first. Never mind.
It was just the most ridiculous of situations. I believe we sat next to Jim Miller and Mike Lynn on that afternoon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And so shout out to my boys both here and Mike Yale above. The Josh Johnson. The fact that it's a headline, I mean, obviously no one cares about Josh Johnson, the 38-year-old guy signing with anybody. We signed a quarterback.
A 6 degree of separation game for a podcast to be named later.
Which we will talk about. I think we need to. 38. So like the Dan Quinn era, which is still super young, and Adam Peters, the one thing that they've said is, hey, listen, we're going to find ways to create competition at multiple levels of the roster. The fact that we're going to have a finally, because we've settled who's first and second string on our team. This is a battle for number 3. We haven't seen a number 3 quarterback battle in Washington in it's been almost 30 years.
It's a battle, sir.
It's not a battle, but I'm just saying we haven't had a legitimate. We have 4 guys signed, and Josh Johnson and Sam Hartman are going to quote unquote battle for the job. All I'm saying is the beauty of this signing and the fact that it was even an NFL headline and all is that we're creating competition at like one of the lower levels of our roster. It's so much fun.
I love that that's how you view it.
Yeah.
And you're going to know that this is how I view it. We just created the most amazing feng shui in the history of any quarterback room ever. We have 2 guys. Has it ever happened in the history of the sport that have played for 19 of the 32 NFL teams that are counseling? I know, it'd be nuts. But those 2, honestly, could there be a better rapport? Could there be better, like, they played freaking West Coast hip hop when Josh Johnson and his family walked into the building the other day on his return back to say, hey, and everyone was cheering. He was like, what the hell's going on in this place?
Sam Hartman's like, oh, goddamn.
I know. He's like, where's Head and Shoulders? They're never calling.
So
I might have to settle with Per Plus if Head and Shoulders doesn't call anymore. But
he put so many eggs in the Hanson basket. That was always his problem. I think Sam Hartman is easily a guy who could, hopefully, we can put on our practice squad. I also say that.
Why are you so hopeful?
Nobody cares. I'm just saying. Well, because, again, we're not bringing in someone to compete for our starting corner job. We're not bringing in someone to compete for starting wide receiver. This is someone.
Are you confused with what feng shui means? Because I am, and I hate saying.
I don't know what it means.
Feng shui.
Yeah, I don't know what it means.
It just means everything's
I think
perfect.
It's like when you rake sand.
Like, yeah, everything's relaxed and perfect. The world is in perfect synchronicity. The yin and the yang.
Yeah.
And
what about the sand and the rake?
Did you say what about Sam?
Yeah, what about Sam? You got to rake the Sam.
He'll be all right. I feel like he'll be all right. I have a thought in my head that thinks that Sam Hartman might be fine as the 14th quarter. We could keep him as the 14th string guy.
Listen,
everyone will be happy.
To me, it's just fun that you bring a 38-year-old guy in, and all of a sudden you have you know. I always frame this up as on the day that we have to rely on our third string quarterback.
Yeah.
A lot of shit has gone wrong at that point in time. We're in a code red in that moment, and probably if you need something, then the 38-year-old is going to bring it more than the 23.
What he's going to bring, along with Marcus Mariota, is an amazing leadership and unbelievable two brains. He has had more freaking teammates than any professional football player, and still playing right now. There's no way around it. No way around it. He's met more personalities, more coaching staffs, more bullshit, more amazingness. He's done it all. Mariota, we thought already did a great job doing this last year. The two of them in there as two guardian angels who are both on the good side. There's no way he's not going to want to be at work every day with these two positive, hardworking badasses that are they're just setting the tone of just it's. I love it so much. We have one quarterback, but we have a damn good backup, and we have a perfect third guy.
That's right.
I mean, shit, our situation.
It's a totally different. Even when we drafted Patrick Ramsey and Jason Campbell and some of these guys. Obviously RG3 and Kirk Cousins. Even when we drafted guys like that to come in and be the dudes, we always still in their time frame. There was always somebody who was competitive with our quote unquote starter, and we were just hoping that we could develop a quarterback of some kind. It's a whole different. It's a whole different ball game now.
I don't want to. But
what do you got?
You're being requested. For some rules. Are the picks written down?
Yeah, we got the picks.
Okay.
You wrote them down, right?
I don't have 10, 11, or 12.
All right, so 12.
The last thing I have written down is a dart in the wind.
Yes, dart in the wind.
10.
So who was who?
Chicago.
That was 10. Chicago took the Will Campbell, the offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Who was number?
That was me.
And you picked
Mike Green.
Mike Green. Oh yeah.
And 12th, you gave them a guard from Alabama.
Tyler Moore.
Booker.
Tyler Booker.
Yeah. You went Mary Tyler Moore on that?
I went Mary Tyler Moore on that.
You did. You almost drafted Mary Tyler Moore, you filibuster.
They went Mary Tyler Moore. This isn't my first day of filibustering.
Greg wants to go for 4 more and do the second half of round 1 next week. Go ahead and rule on that, Mary Tyler Moore.
I'm okay with that.
All right.
As long as everyone keeps it moving. You know what I mean?
For fuck's sake.
Let's just keep it moving, and let's get through 24.
So we have 4 minutes to do 4 picks and get the hell out of here before 10:30.
You're gonna have to do it in negative minutes, apparently.
Damn it! So
I don't
who's
know
up?
how it's gonna work.
So you went last. So
wait, he's talking about next week.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, he's
no.
talking
He
about
said,
next week.
if so, let's go 4 more and do the second half of round 1 next week. He's saying let's knock out 4 picks.
Oh, 4 more picks.
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Number 13. Who's number 13?
No.
I just picked.
Okay, so 13 is the Chargers, and that is the board.
All right. Ken Harris and J Dubs, whoever responds first gets the
Just whatever's written down first is the pick.
Yeah, that's right. Anyone on the board. Who is it?
Board pick.
Who's it gonna
1,
be?
2, 3.
I think they're the Chargers. Yeah, I think the Chargers could take just about anybody. You gave the tight end. Did you go
8.
Tyler Warren? You gave to the Panthers.
I said yes. He
went there to die.
No, he's gonna go there to.
Because I would have loved
back
to see
the ghost
him.
of Greg. Whatchamacallit, the greatest football announcer that never gets to announce. Tight end. I was doing
Greg Olson.
Great, yeah, and also was in
Merlin Olsen.
And also has a rap verse. Like he's
is he related to Merlin Olsen?
I don't think so.
All right.
All right, so
14. Oh wait, no. So
13.
No, 13's not the Dolphins.
13. No, 13's the Chargers.
No, 13 is the Dolphins.
It is.
Yeah, I was looking at something that had a
Wait,
mock trade.
why am I looking at this?
There was like a mock trade, probably.
No. This is. Well, maybe there was a trade. I don't know.
Mock trade. What side are you on?
I don't know. I was rocking off. I was mocking. Never mind. Oh shit! I turned the damn thing off.
All right, so where are we at? Who's picking?
Yeah.
So either way, we're giving what's.
So was I wrong about the other ones? All right, 13 Dolphins, 14 Colts, 15 Falcons, 16 Cards. Nice job.
Okay. So the board took nobody yet for the Dolphins. Oh, Starks isn't. Well, yeah, Malachi Starks is available.
Yes.
Malachi
so 13
Starks.
Dolphins get Malachi.
All right, and the Colts. Who's picking for the Colts?
That's me.
Okay. Colts could use a number of things.
I'm going to get them Matthew Golden so they can have a receiver that I would like to have. Because I don't mind him playing for the Colts. If he's not going to play for us, play for the Colts.
That's good. I like that.
We might not see you for 7 years, bro.
So now I'm picking for the Falcons.
Whoever's 15 is you, and then the board ends it with the Cardinals. Yep, you're Falcons.
So Falcons. I mean, can they draft another quarterback? Just stun the league. It's just all quarterbacks all the time. Have I drafted anyone? Have I drafted only quarterbacks?
Shador, 1, 2. No, Tet McMillan.
Oh, I gave him a wide receiver.
Yeah,
Okay.
Dart in the wind.
Jackson.
Dion's kid. And 1, 2. And then a guard.
That would be so if they just said, you know what? It worked last year. Let's draft another quarterback in the first round. No, and they have I love the talent that Atlanta has on defense. They're stacked. They have Bijan. They got Drake London. They got Kyle Pitts.
Are you gonna do this?
I'm trying to think of who they should have. Mike Green was a popular pick to those guys. I can't do that now.
Sorry, but
yeah, what the hell?
There's
dude?
another guy right there.
The Georgia kid, Michael Williams.
He's a superstar.
Stays in state, stays in town, goes from the
hurt. I get it, he was hurt, but I think that was his worst crime.
All right, so we'll give the Falcons a banger edge
M.Y.?
rusher.
M.Y.
Yeah.
M.Y. Michael.
And we'll close out on
board cards.
Took Marvin Harrison Jr. last year in the first round.
Everyone can be in. Yay, bring your whiskey.
Bring your green hat. All right. We're going to close out here with a board pick. J-Dubs took Starks for the board at the last opportunity. We'll see.
Yeah, I already took Tyler. I'm sorry, J-Dubs. I had Tyler at 8 to the Panthers.
He gone.
I went Greg Olson.
I like James Pierce at 29, Ken Harris. I agree.
I do too.
I think
But if I had my pick, I would take Nick.
So he was the first guy who was mocked regularly to us. And now it's been like a kind of a James.
So he's the guy that here's why.
McMillan's off the board, Ken Harris.
Here's why I say, because I think he comes in right now. Bro, James Pierce for the next 7 years, I'd rather have over Nick.
Yep.
For next year, I'd rather have Nick. But I think next year might be a possible Super Bowl scenario. We might need someone to play right now.
We might need someone to play
that's just me.
Right now.
That's just my fanship, not what I think what is wise, because I don't think anything wise, generally speaking.
So you take James Pierce, and what we go James Pierce, Johnny Newton, Deron Payne,
I'd be so ecstatic.
Dietrich Wise, and Javon Kinlaw. 5 men down on the line.
Stop the run.
That's your big boy line. Kinlaw, Pierce, Payne.
Yeah, Banks
Newton,
is the pick.
Kelvin Banks.
Banks is the only dude standing there buck naked in the green room.
All right, we
Jihad.
No, Jihad. By the way, Jihad's going. He's going to be picked in the top half of the first round for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Kelvin Banks goes to the
number 16 team, the Cardinals.
The Cardinals. They get a I've been there. I've been to their stadium. I've hung out there on NFL Sundays many, many times. It is not the same as here. It just goes to show you. For the Cards, I know people, which stinks because they were, when we grew up, it was like the St. Louis Cardinals, right? Then they were the
Jim
Arizona
Hart's,
Cardinals.
It was Jim Hart's St. Louis Cardinals.
Jim Hart's. Well, Stump Mitchell.
I know, but
Neil
Jim
Lomax.
Hart came in every week and gave them a chance. Neil Lomax, if he was starting, I was like, good luck, Stump Mitchell.
Good luck, Stump Mitchell.
Jim
What
Hart
was
was your
wide
best
receiver?
shot.
Didn't they have a Mike Green? Roy Green.
No, Leroy. Yeah,
Roy
Roy,
Green.
Roy, yeah, Roy. Wait, why do I want to say Roy?
It wasn't Roy Green, was it? It was Roy
Jefferson?
No,
No, it was Roy Green.
it was Roy Green.
It was Roy Green.
Yeah,
It was Roy
they
Green.
had some guys, and we saw them twice a year, so we got a chance to know.
We beat the ever living dog crap out of them relentlessly, and I was at 1 million of them.
And then they moved out. But the best part was they moved out to Arizona, and Jerry Jones was like, we're like, that's our rival. Those are our natural rivals. We need to play them twice a year. We need a cart. Like, there are people. And he was like,
He was right to say it.
Someone had to claim
He was
him.
going to make 90
Yes.
jillions.
The
What a
desert
dick.
is just, we couldn't, Snyder would have done it if he had a chance, but he did not have a chance. All right, so we're coming back next week. We're going to talk about the second half of the first round. We know we got some guys that are off the table. We're going to just forget about them. They are no longer in our plans or in our future, except as opponents. Mel Gray for the Cards back in the old days. Sorry, Ken.
Conrad Dobler.
Yeah, they had some really good offensive and defensive linemen too, just like old school big dudes. I mean, it was St. Louis. They had guys at St. Louis. St. Louis was a good sports town. When they moved to Arizona, that was just the NFL getting greedy, and rightfully so. There's a lot to greed there. I wish I had that much to greed. I don't have that much to greed. I can't be that greedy because I don't have the greed materials.
You just have all the filibustering materials.
Mm-hmm,
Wow.
I did.
Why did you get greedy with all those?
Yeah. And then I'll go out there and I'll say like 5 words, but mostly about.
No, I have the song of the week to play for you.
Okay.
There, outside of EOS.
Don't forget, you're getting a bio, a 3.5 hour bio of I forget who, but we're gonna figure it out.
Deerdorf, Conrad Dobler, and Dan Deerdorf. That's what I was trying to think of. Dan Deerdorf is what I meant to say. Dobler was the mean guy. He punched everyone in the nuts. But Merlin Olsen and Deerdorf, I think they just like elbowed you like in the chops. They didn't go below the belt.
No, because they didn't want that themselves.
No, Dobler.
Oh,
below the belter. Yeah.
Conrad
Dobler. I don't know.
We'll be days away from the draft.
We will. It'll be
week.
very exciting. It'll be very exciting to get her.
And you're going on vacation, right?
The athlete, the athletic director of the year lives at my house, and we're going to go celebrate it at a banquet in Ocean City, Maryland.
On Friday or Thursday?
I'm not telling you all my personals.
Sorry. It's like all of a sudden, wait, are we on live with Regis and Kathy Lee? We might be.
It's going to be fun.
Hey, you got a new coffee table book in the works.
Yeah. Who knows?
I just went straight to like...
What time? I was like, no, I'm not really sure. I'll send the itinerary over when I receive it.
Hey, so what vacation stories? Give me like something that happened
Aeneas
to you.
Williams. Aeneas Williams was great.
Yes.
Aeneas Williams was great.
He was great. Aeneas Williams was great. And Quan Bolden, also one of my favorites.
One of my all-time favorites.
Yes. Listen, we appreciate you guys on behalf of T and Kevin, Ricca, and myself, Ken Meringolo. Thank God it's Tuesday. We will be back in 7 days. We're still live.
Have a great week, guys.
Well, let's let EO take us out of here the way that he can. We're still live.
Still live. Conrad Dobler legitimately just like balled up a fist and hit you in the balls. Like first play. Maybe it was the second play. Who knows? You just knew it was coming.
Evening, JD.
Do it all over again.
I love how EO, he's on the board at the very end, and he gets to hear himself.
He was typing
Get
while
crazy.
I was listening to him sing.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's amazing.
That's so good.